Greetings to all of you. I want to talk about this full moon coming on April 23rd. And this is the full moon that's the culmination of that super new moon solar eclipse that we all experienced on April 8th. As I've been reflecting on my own experience of that powerful solar eclipse, it feels like for those of us who've been working our process consciously, it was an incredibly beautiful time of healing. Remember that Chiron was exactly conjunct the sun and moon in Aries at the time of the eclipse. And I think it was also an activation for us to move more fully into our true selves, Aries, and our own creative path. So it feels to me like it was really activating and accelerating our healing process and moving more into the creative directions of the Aquarian age. For those who weren't working the eclipse consciously, I think Chiron was activating the wounds and blocks and issues that need to be addressed. A solar eclipse is a time of awakening. It is trying to call our attention to wake up, come more into consciousness. So I think it was activating that for those who haven't been in a process of their own healing journey or being on a path of movement into higher consciousness. So we're seeing that tension playing out in the collective, almost as if there are two timelines playing out simultaneously. One that is about a lot of turmoil and fear and confusion and reactivity, and one that is more and more of our feeling this healing energy and support to move into higher consciousness and to be moving more and more fully into beings of light, energy beings. So this full moon is carrying the energy of bringing more into fruition what was activated at the time of the new moon. And let me show you the chart for this full moon. Here is the full moon at 4 degrees of Scorpio, 17 minutes opposite the sun in Taurus. They are in a T-square. Both are squaring Pluto. There's a lot of fixed energy in this full moon. So we went from the cardinal energy of Aries at the time of the new moon solar eclipse to now the consolidation of energy in the fixed signs, helping us integrate and consolidate those changes that we experienced at the time of the new moon and solar eclipse to be more fully moving in these new directions. And I think it is an incredibly transformational full moon, particularly with the moon in Scorpio squaring Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio. So there's an intensity and a depth to the energies of this full moon. It is the energy of transformation, of allowing ourselves to be in this process of transmutation, of moving into new forms. I think, again, for those of us working it consciously, this full moon can be a very empowering time. It can support us in being more and more committed to being on our soul's path. It can support us, Moon and Scorpio, in diving deep into our inner knowing, in trusting our intuition, in being committed to these new forms that we're moving into. And with Pluto in Aquarius, remember that Pluto is the planet that is about our soul's journey. And in the collective sense, Pluto in Aquarius is guiding us all collectively to move more and more into the Aquarian paradigms of this new age. It is calling us into collaboration, into co-creation, in community together. And it's very exciting to me to hear about how so many groups are moving in innovative directions, not trying to reform the paradigms of the past, but to create and establish radically new ways of being in health, in education, in business, in all arts, in creative expression, all areas of life. And I think this is activated in this full moon by this stellium that we have in Aries, with Arizona in an out of sign conjunction with the sun opposite the moon, and Venus, Chiron, Mercury, the North Node. I see this as continuing that activation of initiation and creativity, starting with the new moon, and supporting us in moving in new directions in our dynamics in relationships. Chiron continuing to support us in a healing process, to heal our sense of self, Aries, but also to be healing the out of balance energies from the age of Aries that have continued into this time, that are about power imbalance and abuse of power. We also have Mercury here, so healing our ways of thinking and supporting us in envisioning things, in communicating, in conceiving of these new forms that we can move into. Remember, this full moon is coming 3 days after the exact conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, which is starting this 14-year new cycle of new paradigms, new ways of thinking and being and manifesting. So this full moon is supporting us in continuing to move in these new directions. And I think for those of us that are in that change process, this full moon will be very empowering and support us in continuing on that path of transformation. For those who are not working with these energies consciously and in that process of movement into the age of Aquarius, this full moon may be a turbulent time with this square of Pluto with both the moon and the sun. We may see more reactivity, more intense emotional outbursts. We may see more power struggles. That increased intensity, that increased reactivity or volatility that we may see is actually also the expression of Pluto continuing to activate this transformation in our collective consciousness to support us in leaving the paradigms of the past and moving in these new directions to move into the new paradigms of the Aquarian age. Remember also that as Pluto is that planet guiding us in our soul's evolution, it is supporting us in also integrating its polarity point. Remember, from an evolutionary astrology perspective, if you want to understand your soul's intentions and purpose in this lifetime, you look at Pluto and the lunar nodes. And where Pluto is in your chart gives you a sense of what have you been working in past lives and journey of evolution. And you're meant to continue to integrate that in this lifetime, but also work the polarity point of Pluto. What is the point opposite Pluto in your birth chart that gives you a sense of the growing edge for you in your soul's journey in this lifetime? It's a very powerful theme in our charts to guide us into remembering why we're here and what it was that we came to work out in our own journey of growth and consciousness. Here in the chart, in terms of how we're working it collectively, Pluto's polarity point is in Leo. So we're meant to move through this transformation into the paradigms of the Aquarian age in a way that we're integrating that energy of Leo, living from our hearts with courage and expressing our own creativity. One of the beautiful aspects of the Aquarian age is that it supports us in our personal creative expression, but to be able to do that in the context of community and in service to others. So when we include Pluto's polarity point, we have a very powerful grand square in the fixed signs, activating and supporting our capacity to be deeply committed to our soul's path, to our creative expression, to honoring our own inner process, and the sun in Taurus helping us manifest these new forms and new ways of being. Remember also that Pluto is the higher octave of Mars. So it is supporting us in this powerful configuration to be in not only in alignment with our soul self, but in alignment, having our will in alignment with divine will, so that we're acting in concert, in harmony, in alignment with the energies of cosmic consciousness. We are experiencing the changes happening on the earth, the energies coming to us from the sun and cosmic energies from the galactic center. And we are working with those energies in the currents of those energies, in alignment with them, so that our expression, our actions, our Mars energy is empowered by, transformed by, and in alignment with these energies of cosmic consciousness. We can feel it when we're in alignment with our soul's purpose and when we're on the path that is in alignment with the energies of the cosmos. Then there is this sense of rightness, of clarity, of living from the heart and feeling in alignment with our true selves. And this full moon can support us in deepening that alignment and that commitment to being on our own creative path as an expression of our soul self in connection and unity with cosmic consciousness. I think it's significant that the meaning of the Sabian symbol for the moon is a massive rocky shore. And it is describing the stability that we can experience in being in connection with groups on a spiritual path, how that can give us stability in supporting our personal freedom and expression. So again, this powerful full moon is helping us honor our own inner truth and soul's purpose, but it's also guiding us, again, with Pluto in Aquarius, to be connecting with groups of like-minded people, to be in community, co-creating together, being supportive of each other, and allowing that diversity within our connection with each other to be in the full unique expression of who we each are. One of the things that I'm so grateful for in this community is the way in which we honor that uniqueness in each other and support each other in healing, transformation, and moving in these new directions. And this full moon is further strengthening, empowering, and supporting that. It's also interesting that Pluto at 2 degrees of Aquarius, the Sabian symbol for that degree is about stability in groups through honoring and being in right relationship with the unseen forces that are transforming us in this time, and having a willingness to refuse to comply with inappropriate authorities. So Pluto in Aquarius at this degree and in this powerful configuration is saying, connect with like-minded groups that are on a spiritual path, that are on this path of higher consciousness, and refuse to comply with the out of balance, inappropriate authorities that are trying to control us or keep us in the old paradigms and are mired in that abuse of power and the out of balance paradigms that we've been in this patriarchal period. So this full moon is not only supporting us in saying yes to our soul's purpose, yes to our personal creative expression, yes to co-creating in collaborative, supportive community, but it's supporting us in saying no to participating in, colluding with, or supporting out of balance leaders, structures, authorities, paradigms that are the destructive paradigms that are needing to die. So this is an empowering full moon. I think it is helping us to move beyond fear, to rise above. Remember the energies of that powerful Jupiter-Uranus conjunction were about the white dove who flies fearlessly over troubled waters. That Uranus-Jupiter conjunction that's guiding us to more and more move into and manifest the new forms is supporting us in rising above the turbulence. That doesn't mean we don't care about the suffering in the world, but it means we realize that to support the healing and the transformation on the planet, we need to not be mired in the trauma and drama, but to hold that higher consciousness and to seed the energies of love, compassion, healing in the collective. As we move into these states of higher consciousness and realize the capacity of our consciousness, the capacity of what it means as we're becoming more and more energy beings, we can, with our energies and intentions, emanate that powerful love and healing energy and compassion and peace into the collective consciousness. And we can live it in our day-to-day lives, in every interaction that we're in. Being mired in the storminess of the seas will not help those who are drowning. It's actually being in a place of stability and of holding this vision of what we can be as humanity as we're moving through this evolutionary process of transformation. That enables us to actively support and comfort and encourage and help heal those who are in pain. But again, this full moon is empowering us to stay committed to that higher vision, to stay committed to living from love and compassion and peace and justice and truth. And in the midst of the increasing turbulence and the power struggles that we may see around the time of this full moon, the turbulence, it's helping us stand fast and stay centered in that alignment with our hearts, with our soul selves, and in alignment with cosmic consciousness. And let me show you where this full moon is in the sky on April 23rd. Here is the full moon, and it is between the stars of Virgo and Libra. It's close to Spica, which is the sheaf of wheat in the hand of the harvest goddess, Virgo. So it's supporting us in how we can use our gifts to be of service. Spica is about how are we giving of our energy, our time, our gifts to be of service to others. But I think even more significant is that the full moon is here by the tail of the constellation Hydra. Hydra is the largest constellation in the sky. It stretches 95 degrees from beneath the stars of Cancer to here, close to the stars of Libra. And it is and has been seen across thousands of years, across cultures, as a serpent or a water snake. And remember that the serpent is our oldest known image of the great goddess, the great creative goddess, the source of all that is. So the moon being here is helping us to remember and integrate that ancient wisdom of the sacred feminine that is about serpent energy, our capacity to live in close connection with the earth, to attune to the energies of the earth as a snake is able to do. But also remember the snake sheds its skin to move into a new form, a new skin. And in so many ways, this full moon, the theme of it is what are the skins we're needing to shed from the past to move into a new form and into forms that are informed by the energies of the sacred feminine. As we reclaim that ancient wisdom, we come back into balance. We heal and come back into that honoring of the sacredness of all of life. Connecting to that sacred feminine energy supports us in living from our hearts and having compassion for each other and being in right relationship with all that is. So in the chart, the moon is in Scorpio, encouraging us to dive deep and continue in this journey of transformation. And the moon in the sky is supporting us in diving deep into those memories, ancient memories, in which we can reconnect with the wisdom of the sacred feminine, come back into honoring that energy of creativity and of creation, and honor the energy of the sacred feminine to bring it back into balance with the sacred masculine, which is a part of what helps us heal and transform and move out of these destructive patriarchal paradigms that we've been in the last 5,000 years. to move into the balance, harmony, new paradigms of the age of Aquarius. I truly believe in these coming months, we are going to feel the energies continue to accelerate. And it is going to continue to be a time of transformation, a time of turbulence. But again, if we're on this path of higher consciousness, we can continue to fly above the turbulence, witnessing it, but not mired in it, and be supporting the shifts that benefit all of humanity by holding those energies of love, peace, alignment with our soul selves and with cosmic consciousness deep within us, and living that out in our day-to-day lives, in being in right relationship, being activists for peace, for justice, for truth, refusing to comply with the destructive paradigms of the past, and actively being creative in manifesting these new forms in our connections with each other, in our communities with each other. Then there's a joy in that. Even in the midst of the turbulence, we can feel that excitement, that hope, that vision, that awareness of what we're moving into, which is this radical transmutation into new ways of being, into co-creating a new world together. I'm posting below this video a meditation that might be helpful to you that I've done that guides us in integrating the energies of the outermost planets, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and how they support us in moving into this higher consciousness. Remember that Pluto is the higher octave of Mars, Neptune the higher octave of Venus, Uranus the higher octave of Mercury. So this meditation supports us in how we integrate these energies of these transpersonal planets to support us in being in alignment with our true selves and in alignment with cosmic consciousness, and to be more and more fully living in that higher consciousness. So I hope it's helpful to you. And again, let's continue to support each other in the turbulence of these times, to hold that vision together of what we're moving into, to be continuing to co-create together and feel that exhilaration of the new paradigms of the age of Aquarius coming more and more fully into form. I do believe as we're moving through these coming months and coming to November, where Pluto will move fully into Aquarius, that we're in this accelerated time of transition. And as we see and glimpse and know this trajectory that we're on, it can support us in not getting caught in the turbulence, the chaos, the polarization and reactivity that is the messy, turbulent part of this transition. Blessings and love to all of you, and blessed be.